Hello yogis, Kathy here. So today's practice is all about back bends. We're looking to open up through the chest, through the shoulders, bring a lot of energy into our practice. We will be exploring some peak postures such as camel pose, dancer pose, and floor bow. So don't worry if you haven't done a lot of these in practice. We're going to be building up our bodies to it. So every prep posture we're going to be doing is really focusing on breaking down the components that we need in order to have a safe and successful back bend. And of course, during the peak practice, I'll be offering different variations and options for wherever you are in your practice. So this is a intermediate / advanced class, meaning it's a little bit more vigorous. We're going to be moving a little bit faster and also challenging your body in some new interesting postures. So hopefully you'll have some fun and learn some different variations to try. So for this practice, you might need a strap for our back bends and an open mind. So if you like these videos, please give a thumbs up and leave a comment below to show your support. And as always, I'll be leaving new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bells to get those videos. And when you're ready, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to begin our practice in a supportive fish pose, so go ahead and grab your blocks. First block either on the flattest side or on its second height in between the shoulder blades. So a third of the way down from your shoulders. You want to lean back with the hips on the ground and allow your chest to be supported and lifted by that first block. Second block will come underneath the back of the head as you drop back. Make sure our neck isn't in too much of an extension. We want to maintain a slight neutrality in our cervical spine. So we're going to start in a fish pose, which is great for opening through the chest and the shoulders. Taking your feet together, either in butterfly or extended. We'll take a few moments here to set up for practice. So as we prepare for our back bends, it's really important that we're taking time to address all the parts that go into a back bend posture, such as opening through the shoulders, making sure our hip flexors are warmed up, our quads are strengthened to give us support in the lower body, and we definitely need to make sure our back and our spine is warm enough to go into full extensions. So from our fish pose, let's take an inhale, reach the arms up, grabbing for opposite elbows or opposite forearms, allowing the arms to drop. Take two. Taking an inhale, reaching the arms up through the fingers. We're going to grab for opposite elbows or opposite forearms and allow the arms to fall up overhead. Dropping back down towards the floor if you can. Continue to open up through the chest. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. So take this time, maybe closing the eyes to establish the pace of our breath. And it will guide us through practice. Taking a moment to check in with our mind. Anything that is distracting us in our heads right now that won't serve us in our practice. Acknowledge these thoughts and breathing it out on your next exhale. As you turn your awareness more inwards, we're going to be very attentive, especially in this back bend practice, of our bodies and our breath. Our body is very smart in its ability to tell us if we're going too far into a posture. So if you at any time feel something doesn't feel right, then definitely make sure to back off and ease slowly into the movement. And let's switch. Inhale, reach through the hands, and we're going to grab for opposite elbows, opposite forearms, and dropping the hands back down towards the floor one more time. A few more breaths into the chest, into the shoulders. And again with our breathing, so remembering this pattern of breath here. So we're establishing our breath pattern that will guide us through our physical practice during this yoga backbend class. Now, if you ever find that you're holding your breath or you're unable to breathe, this is also a telltale sign that you are not in the correct form of the posture. So wherever you are, you need to be able to breathe, ideally just like this. You should never be holding your breath. So for this practice, I want you to not only practice the different variations, but be very cognizant and mindful of where your body is in space, how you're feeling, and as well as your breath pattern. Let's take one more breath here. Reach the arms up and exhale, open up through the chest. Drop the hands down beside you, palms up. We'll take a couple breaths here just to release that shoulder stretch. Preparing our mind, our breath, and our body for practice. And let's open the eyes, gently close up the knees. Let's roll over to one side, coming off our blocks, coming down onto your back. So we're going to start with a few floating bridges. So walk the feet in until you can touch the back of your heels with your fingers. Feet hip distance apart. On the breath in, we're going to press into our hands and feet. Inhale, drive the hips up. We're going to roll the shoulders underneath. So make sure the weight is pressing down to our triceps, into our shoulders, and our neck is fairly comfortable here. Chest is close to our chin. You need to lift up, squeeze the knees in together. Maybe walking the hands underneath, interlace the fingers. Bring the forearms down towards the ground, press and lift. Opening through the back, the spine, one more breath. And we're going to walk the hands out, slowly lower down as slow as you can. Upper back, one vertebra at a time, mid back. Engaging the core, tucking the tailbone up. And slowly, sacrum, tailbone comes down onto the ground. Let's give ourselves a little rock and roll up and down the length of our spine. And we'll come up, crossing over the knees, making our way into a tabletop position. Shoulder, elbows, wrists in one line, hips over the knees. We're going to take an inhale, kick the right toes back. Extend nice and long. Exhale, round knee towards your nose. Inhale, we're going to bend the knee, point the toe up, drop the belly, arching through the back. Look up. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, drop the belly, kick the foot up, stretch. Exhale, bring it in. A few more rounds, drop the belly, point the toes, squeeze the hamstrings. Exhale in. 2 more with the breath. Last one. Now coming back into this arch position, bent knee, toes pointing up, setting up for tiger pose. So we're going to find our balance, coming up onto left fingertips first. Stay here, or we flip the hand forward. If you're balanced, we're going to reach back, grabbing left hand to right foot, grabbing 1 or 2 inches below the toes. We're going to slowly extend through the knee, kick back, look forward, finding balance here. Nice stretch for the shoulder joint. Allow your belly to be soft. Continue to drop the belly down, press into the right hand, lift the chest. Breathing, 1 more breath. And exhale, we release, switching sides. Placing your hands down on the ground, let's take an inhale, point the left toes back. Exhale, round knee to nose. Inhale, drop the belly, bend the knee, kick the foot up, gaze up. Exhale, knee to nose. Flowing with your breath. Inhale, arching through the back, kick the foot up. Exhale, bring it in. 2 more. Last one. And coming back into this shape, preparing for tiger pose. So knee bent, toes pointing up. We're gonna walk up onto our right fingertips first. So this is a great place to stay and work on your balance. If you're ready, sweep that right hand up. Continue to kick this foot up. If you can't quite bind, we're gonna work on squeezing the hamstrings and kicking the foot up. So if you can, right hand grabs onto left foot. Finding balance, keep your gaze steady on one point in front of you. Continue to extend through the knee. Point the foot. Drop the belly, arching through the back, gaze up and forward. Stretch it out. Great pose, tiger 4, opening through the chest and shoulders. And slowly release, coming back to center. Let's curl the toes, lift the knees, hips up and back, downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're gonna look forward, step, or hop the feet to the top of your mat. Take a breath in, look forward, lifting the chest, coming to a halfway lift. Exhale, we bow and fold. Gently pedal out the feet, lifting one heel at a time, dropping the chest, dropping the head. And let's reverse swan dive, breathing in, inhale, sweeping the arms up. Take the hands together and take a standing back bend. Press the hips forward, lifting up through the chest, reaching the arms back. Exhale, diving forward all the way down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back into your high plank. We're going to bring our knees down to the ground, taking a modified version here. So with your knees on the floor, we're going to come into puppy stretch. Walk your forearms down onto the ground. Keep your hips over the knees as you drop the chest towards the floor. Stretch. Chest or chin will eventually come down to the ground. Coming up onto your fingertips if you like to deepen the stretch, taking into a more active version of puppy pose. Opening through the chest, opening through the shoulders. And release, taking the hands back down onto the ground. We're going to shift forward, lower ourselves all the way down to the floor. Uncurl the toes, inhale, cobra. Lift the chest, pull the shoulders back. Gaze up. Exhale, lower all the way down, curl the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Look forward, step or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, look forward, halfway. Exhale, we fold. Reverse swan dive. Take it all the way back up. Inhale, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, inhale, reaching up, starting with the back bend. So hips press forward, open through the chest, long spine, reach the hands back and behind. Exhale, diving forward all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step or hop back into your high plank. Dropping the knees to the ground, puppy pose. Walk your forearms down to the ground, fingers forward, drop the chest, drop the chin. Allow your hips to stack over the knees. One more breath. Pushing into your forearms, coming forward. Lower the chest down. Inhale, cobra. Pressing up, lifting the chest, maybe even straightening the elbows a little bit more if you have the space. Exhale, release, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, dropping the chest. Pedal the feet a few times, lowering the heels down towards the ground. We're going to take the right leg up. Inhale, sweep the right leg up high. Look forward, step that foot in between the hands, top of the mat, starting on your fingertips. Find your balance. Keep your gaze steady. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Bounce into your hips. Allow your front knee to come directly over your ankle. Back heel is pressing towards the back wall. Keep this back left knee lifted. Reaching up, chest stays lifting, gaze stays up. Now we're going to stretch open our shoulders a little bit here, taking eagle arms. Right hand comes underneath. Cross your elbows, drop your shoulders, or take full eagle bind. Cross at your forearms. Staying balanced. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. Take it into a back bend. Press the hips forward. Continue to lunge through that front knee. Reach back, lean back. Exhale, coming forward, releasing the arms. We're going to bend our right hand, so right elbow bends, cow face pose. Left hand reaches up and over. We're not reaching for our fingers necessarily, we're just working on opening the chest and giving our shoulders a little bit of rotational practice. So inhale, sweep the arms sideways. Exhale, release, right elbow bend. Left hand will reach back. Slowly release, open through the chest. Switching sides. One more time, open, exhale. And let's drop the back knee down onto the ground. Bring our left knee to the floor, coming up onto fingertips or onto your front thigh. Press the hips forward. Lowering the hips down to the ground, take 3 deep breaths. So we're warming up our lower body here, stretching our hip flexors. Really important to make sure those large muscles, so the iliopsoas muscles, is lengthen and stretch before we go into any deep back bends. From here, find your balance. We're going to keep our gaze focused on a spot. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Point the index finger, interlace your other fingers, looking up. Taking a breath in. Exhale, we're going to take into back bend. So press hips forward. Nice and easy, tracing the fingertips towards the back wall. And slowly release, come back to center. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, we're going to turn over towards the right side. So left hand forward, right hand back. Finding a twist in the body. Turning the palm up. Inhale, exalt, reach up and back. One more deep stretch to open the left side of our body, the left legs, left hip flexors. And release, take the hands down to the floor. Curl the toe, lift the knee, step back. Downward facing dog, pedal up the feet. Drop the chest. Move the hips side to side. Now let's try the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Look forward, step that hand to the top of the mat. Coming up onto your fingertips. Steady your gaze, steady your balance. Inhale, reach the arms, sweeping them up. Bouncing a few times into your hips, finding your balance. Taking a deep breath in, look up. We're going to send the hips forward towards our knee, lengthen through the rib cage, through the chest, reaching the arms back. Exhale, coming back to center. Let's open up for our shoulders. Eagle pose, left arm underneath the right. Grab for opposite elbows or shoulders. And wrapping the forearms together. Take 2. Inhale, let's reach the arms out to the side. Taking your left elbow underneath the right, grab for shoulders or wrap the forearms together, palms together, pulling the elbows down towards the chest. We're going to take this into a back bend, keeping the bind in your arms. Take an inhale, reach the arms up. As we exhale, hips forward, start to lean back, reaching the hands back behind you. And slowly release, coming out with control, releasing the arms. We're going to take cow face pose arms. So taking your left hand, bend the elbow, placing the hand behind you. And right arm will reach up and back. So we're not necessarily, again, looking for that bind. We're just opening up through the shoulders, revolving side to side. Switching, right hand comes under, left hand over top. Inhale, stretch, switch. Revolving one more time. And release, take the hands down to the ground, drop the back knee onto the floor, coming up onto your front thigh. Breathing here, taking a few breaths in our low lunge. And let's slowly releasing the arms, interlace the fingers, point the index finger up. We're going to take this into a back bend. So inhale, reaching up. As we exhale, we're going to press hips forward, look up. Trace the fingers towards the back wall. Continue to press forward through the hips. And slowly release, coming back up into center. Reaching the arms up, breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to twist right hand forward, left hand will twist back. One more stretch for our right hip flexors, taking the palm open. Inhale, reach up and back. Bottom hand can come down onto the floor or grab for your back thigh. Deep opening through the rib cage. And exhale, release. Curl the toe, lift the knee, step it back. Downward facing dog. From our downwards facing dog, we're going to take an inhale, sweep the right leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hips. Taking a breath or two here, really pull that right hip open, allowing the right knee to stack on top of the left. Dropping to wild thing, weight comes into our left hand, left foot. Top foot drops back and behind. Inhale, lifting the right arm up, pressing into your feet. So this pose really comes into the strength of your legs to keep the hips lifted. One more breath. Exhale, coming back into center. Inhale, stretch the right leg up. Coming forward, right knee in towards the chest. We're going to look over towards the left side. Kick this foot through. Direct the back foot flat on the ground. Find your balance. Fall in triangle or side plank variation. Shoulders stacked over your wrists. Lifting up. Breathing here. One more breath. And slowly release. Take this foot up. Inhale, three-legged dog. Look forward. Step it all the way through. Top of the mat. Inhale, look forward, coming up onto your fingertips. Let's come into one more high crescent lunge, bouncing a few times. Taking the hands down onto the floor and transfer the weight into this right foot. Step it forward, lifting the back foot off the ground, stretching into the hamstrings, preparing the legs. Hands can come onto the floor or onto a block. Continue to point the left toes up. One more breath. And let's slowly release, stepping that back foot down. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lifting the left foot up on the next breath in. Inhale, sweep that leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Allow the left hip to come over the right. Stay here or we flip our dog into wild thing. Hands and right foot and right hand stay on the ground. Top foot lands back and behind, pressing into the floor with your feet, using the strength of your hips to lift the chest. Reaching up and back. And coming back into center. Inhale, three-legged dog. Look forward, knee in towards the chest. We're gonna look over towards the right side, send this left foot across. Back foot down on the ground. Inhale, triangle. Deep breaths. Back foot is flat on the ground to maintain balance. And slowly release. Inhale, three-legged dog, kick it up. Look forward, send that foot to the top of the mat. Fingertips down, setting up high crescent lunge. Find your balance. On the next inhale, re-rise. Exhale, lower the hips down. Finding your balance. We're gonna come forward, hands down onto the ground, leap up, pressing into your left leg. Right leg will lift up as high as we can into standing splits. One more stretch for our legs, warming up the hamstrings. So take this right leg as high as you can, making sure we're not overstraining our left hamstring. Using that right leg as a lever. Dropping the head, dropping the forehead towards the shin. One more breath. And exhale, we're gonna release. Taking both feet down onto the floor at the top of our mat. Inhale is come all the way up, hands together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now let's prepare for dancer's pose, our first peak pose. So in our dancer pose, we have a few variations to play with. We're gonna reach for the top of our foot, so palm up, scooping the foot from the inside, reach for the top of the foot, 1 inch below the toes. Left hand will reach up. So this is a great starting position for dancer if you're working on your balance. If you're ready to go into full dancer expression, we're going to kick back, allowing that right knee to extend, reaching left hand forward. Continue to keep your gaze focused on one spot in front of you, micro bend in the standing leg. So from here, you can also walk your hand a little bit up the leg towards the shin. If you have the flexibility, go ahead and slowly readjust your hands and extend. Second option, we come into mermaid pose. So placing the foot towards the elbow crease. And we're going to externally rotate this right hip so the knee is pointing backwards. Inhale, reach this left hand up as high as you can, lifting up from the rib cage. Maybe we interlace the fingers behind our head. Once you got a hold of your fingers, we're going to continue to kick the foot up. So continue to open the hip. So we're remaining active in this posture. Stretching through the shoulders, stretching through the hips. And exhale, we release. And let's try the other side. So starting from your left side, we're going to ground down through the right foot. Left palm is facing open. We're gonna bend the left knee, scoop up the foot 1 inch below the toes, and close up the knees. The right hand will reach up. So this is our standing position for dancer pose. If you're working on dancer and this is new, continue to maintain this stance. Now let's open up our dancer. So take a breath in. Exhale, we charge forward, chest drops down towards the ground. Our back knee extends, kicking the foot into the hand. Right hand stretches forward. Micro bend the standing right leg. So continue to kick and stretch, gaze focused. If you're feeling pretty flexible, walk your left hand a little bit higher up towards the knee, grabbing for the shin or right below the knee, and we'll slowly re-extend that leg. Kicking up, extend and point, finding focus. And let's slowly release, coming back out, trying our second variation in Mermaid Dancer. So we're gonna pick up our left foot, placing the foot towards our elbow pit. Let's inhale the right arm. Then through the right elbow, interlace the fingers. Continue to actively kick the foot back. So opening through the shoulders. One more breath. And let's slowly, gently release the feet down. Give your ankles a shake. Roll it out. And let's forward fold coming down. Take a vinyasa here. Inhale, look forward, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the ground, step back into our high plank. Knees to the ground, come into puppy pose, drop the chest. Stretch the hands forward. Rolling up, lowering down, inhaling for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we're gonna lower down onto our knees. Take a seat. Coming into a kneeling position. So we're going to prepare for our second back bend, which is camel pose. So from here, we're going to start with a nice easy hero pose to stretch open through the quadriceps a little bit more. So in hero pose, we can do 2 variations. One with one leg extended, one knee bent, or the full variation with both knees bent. So I want you to be very mindful of your knee joints. See if it's comfortable to sit in this manner with both knees bent. If not, we're going to do the half hero pose variation. If you need additional support, you can place a block underneath the left leg, so the leg that's extended, to raise the floor, and that'll decrease some of the pain. So go ahead and start in your hero pose. Let's take an inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, we're going to lean back onto our forearms or all the way back onto our backs. Taking a few breaths, allow the top of the feet to extend, toes are pointing back, breathe into the quadriceps. And let's release, inhale coming up. If you're in your full hero, stay where you are, continue to breathe for another 5 deep breaths. Right leg will come forward, left knee will close back in our half hero, lowering yourself back onto your forearms or all the way back. Lying in a reclined position, hands beside your body, taking a few deep breaths, stretching to those quadricep muscles. And let's slowly release. In your full or half hero, we'll reach our hands back down onto the floor, press into your palms, into your forearms, and slowly release the feet out in front. Swing the legs back, coming onto our hands and knees. We're going to begin in some gentle camel stretches. So we're going to keep the toes under, walking up. Hips are over the knees. We want to make sure our hips always stays over the knees in our camel pose. So for our stretches, we're going to start with something low and build up to a full extension through the spine. So right hand will come down onto the heel. On the inhale, we're going to take a half camel, sweep the left hand across, and exhale, sit back down. Switch sides, left hand to left foot. Inhale, right arm up, press the hips forward. and sitting back down. We're gonna alternate side to side a few times. So really open up the obliques, stretch the hand, stretch the fingers, work on pressing the hips so that they stack directly over the knees. One more on each side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press back. Last time. And let's lower down, coming up, setting up for our camel pose. Hands will come towards our low back. Toes can stay curled or uncurled. We're gonna take a breath in, press it forward, hand towards your low back. Continue to send the hips forward towards the knees. Exhale, walking one hand down or both hands down onto the ground. Opening through the chest. Nice stretch through the throat. One more breath. Slowly, as you release, take your hands towards your low back, chin in towards your chest, and we come back up. Now from our camel pose, we're going to explore 2 more variations. The first one is very similar to what we did in dancer pose. We're going to bend the right knee, coming into a mermaid camel. So this might feel a little bit sensitive on your knee joints, so make sure you pad your knees by rolling the mat over or placing a towel underneath. So we're going to bend the right knee, again, foot towards our elbow crease. Okay, so hips are still pointing forward. See how this feels. Maybe we stay here. Take a few breaths. Make sure we can breathe fully. So checking in with the comfort level of our posture. If you're ready to go more, reaching your left arm up. Exhale, we lean back, interlace the fingers. You can rest your head in the elbow. Continue to kick the foot back, press hips forward, find that arch. And slowly release, coming back up. And try the other side, so adjust your feet, bending the left knee, bring the left foot up, heel towards your bum. Make sure your knees are far wide enough to get yourself a stable base. Hooking the foot into the elbow crease. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, we bend, reaching the hands back. So you need to be able to push the hips forward to create the arch through the spine. Reaching the hands back. Maybe leaning the head into the elbow. Finding our mermaid camel. One more breath. And slowly we come out and release. All right, so our last variation is going to be a deep stretch for our quads. So this is a great stretch to work on the front of the legs if you need to give it a good stretch. So our hero pose was our prep to get into this posture, which is a half frog camel pose variation. We're going to pull the heel in towards our bum one more time, but this time we're going to spin the elbow up, internally rotate through the right shoulder. Okay, so we're rotating the shoulder inwards to allow that right elbow to pop up. Our palm is pressing the heel in towards our bum, squeezing the knee joint close as tight as you can, stretching through the front of the body. Once you have a good position here, try to press the hips forward, find that arch in the spine, maybe reach the left arm up. Exhale, we bend. Stretching the fingers behind you, continue to press hips forward. And slowly release. Coming back, and we'll switch sides. So finding that half frog pose by pressing the heel in towards your bum, internally rotate through your left shoulder so the elbow spins upwards. Okay, so palm is pressing forward, palm facing our torso. Taking a breath in here, find your balance. Exhale, we press the hips forward, opening through the chest. Maybe right hand reaches up and back. One more breath. And slowly coming out. Nice and easy, coming down onto the floor. Let's bring the hands down onto the ground. Send the legs back and dropping down onto our bellies. And once we're down onto the floor, and uncurl the toes. Interlace the fingers behind your back, prepping for a locust pose. On the breath in, we're going to reach the arms away from the body, press into the top of the feet. Inhale to lift the chest. Gaze up and forward, squeezing the back, using the muscles along the spine to keep the chest lifted. Exhale, release. Taking a breath in here. And let's try that one more time. Interlace the fingers to prepare. Inhale, breathing in, stretch and lift. Using the back muscles to lift up the chest even higher. And exhale, we release. We're gonna stretch open the shoulders to prepare for floor bow. So we're gonna take the right arm out to the side, bring our right ear to the floor. We're gonna bend the elbow, so palms down, bent, the elbows bent. Taking right ear towards the floor, we're gonna turn over, left leg down, twisting here, opening up the shoulder joint. And slowly release, switch sides, coming back to center. Take our left elbow, bending the elbow, placing the hand down onto the ground, left ear to the floor. Give yourself a little push. Turning to the outer edges of your body. Right leg bends and falls back behind. Opening through the chest, opening through the shoulders. So this version with the elbow bent at 90 degrees is going to give you a much deeper stretch into the pecs than if you were to have the arm completely extended. And let's release, coming back down to center. All right, for our last back bend, we're gonna do floor bow. So I'll show you the two variations. Bending the knees, we're gonna reach the hands back 1 inch below the toes. Squeezing the knees in together, we're gonna take an inhale, similar to locust pose. On the exhale, we lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're gonna kick the feet back, up onto our belly, squeezing the knees in together, looking up. Active through the legs, using your arms to resist. And exhale, we release. Give that another try, or we can come into a teardrop position, which requires a much more deeper rotation through the shoulder. So we can try it first with one leg. Go ahead and grab your strap. So I'm going to show you with the strap what it looks like. So if I'm working with my right side of the body, I'm going to come up. My elbow is going to spin upwards. So from this position, it's going to spin up, okay? And we're going to kick up like this. Using the strap or your hands, we're going to prep one side at a time, and then we'll come into the full floor bow. And let's release. Gently release your foot down, release the strap, and let's try the other side. So looping the strap around the top of the foot, or you can grab onto the foot if you like, supporting yourself with your forearm. Elbow will spin from bottom to facing upwards. And we're gonna kick up. Continue to lift and slowly rotate. So you might find that there's one side that's tighter than the other, and that is completely okay. So with both feet, you can take your strap, looping around both feet this time. And then try to flip one grip, and then maybe flipping the other, kicking up, finding your teardrop or bow shape in our second variation. Once you've opened up your shoulders and developed flexibility, you can go ahead and try without the strap. So full floor bow, give that a try. Grabbing on, inhale, kick up, lifting, gaze up. And slowly exhale, release. Let's come up, pressing back into child's pose. And we'll begin to wind down and release our backs, release our shoulders and spine. Chest down towards the ground, forehead towards the floor. Let's take an inhale, look forward, coming up, praying for pigeon pose. Right toes will point back. Right knee to right wrist. Send your left foot all the way back, pointing the toes, taking a breath in, lifting the chest. Exhale, we dive forward. So we're going to cool down, unwind, decompress through the spine with some forward folding postures, and at the same time taking care of our hips and shoulders. Dropping the head down, relax through the neck, relax through the shoulders. Inhale, let's look forward. Option to take another mermaid bind. Since we've done so many of them, why not add another one in? Bend your left leg, draw the heel in towards your sit bones. Option to place your foot towards the elbow crease. Inhale, right arm up, catch, stretch. So this time we're not so much taking it into a back bend as we are stretching through the tops of the leg into the quads and gently releasing the shoulders. Now let's slowly release. Swing this back leg all the way to the front. Cross your left foot to the outside, so you're nice and tall. Half forward, the fish pose. Left hand will come behind. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, we twist, hook the elbow to the outside of the left leg. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, we twist. And unwind slowly over to the other side, counter stretch, bowing over towards the right. And let's slowly release. Swing the legs back into our table and we'll switch sides. Left toes will point back, stretch it. And bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Right leg will curl all the way back. Let's take an inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, bow forward, diving into your sleeping pigeon. Dropping the head, relax the torso, taking a few deep breaths. Allowing the spine to find a little bit more space as you breathe here. Now let's inhale, looking forward. Gently give yourself a lift, pressing up into your hands. Optional bind for one more mermaid practice. Pick up your right leg, draw the heel in towards you, foot towards your elbow crease. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, we interlace the fingers. Taking a few deep breaths, lifting up through the chest, stretching. We're mainly targeting the quads in the stretch here. Passive stretching for the shoulders. And we'll gently release. Take this back foot, swing it all the way across. Right foot to the outside of the left knee. Sit up nice and tall, preparing for half forward, the fish pose in our seated twist. Our right hand will come behind, support the spine. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, elbow to the outside of our right knee. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale, we twist. Growing a little bit taller, lengthening through the spine with every breath in. Exhale, twist and deepen. And let's slowly release, unwind over towards the left side. Bowing your weight for a counter stretch to the left. And we'll slowly release. Take the feet forward. One more forward fold, both legs extended. Take an inhale, we sit up tall. Exhale, nice and passively fold over, just allowing your chest, your head, your arms to fall wherever they land. And take 5 deep breaths here. One more forward fold to decompress the spine. And let's inhale all the way up. Create some space for yourself and let's lie all the way back down onto the floor, separating out the feet. Taking this time to make any last movements here you need before we come into Shavasana. Maybe grabbing for the arches of the feet in Happy Baby. Rock it up from side to side. Stretch through the knees. when you're ready, let's come into Shavasana, arms beside the body, palms to face up. Give yourself a few breaths here to release, decompress. Staying here for as long as you like. Thank you so much, yogis, for practicing with me and allowing me to lead you through your backbend practice. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or someone who's just looking to add on to your repertoire of backbends, I hope you found something that is interesting for you and you can continue to work on. And remember to give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to receive weekly yoga videos for practice of all levels and all skills. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kathie. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you and namaste.